Two friends from Iowa finding out what's beyond living after death. C&R isn't just about the paranormal. It's about bringing the community together by sharing their experience, evidence, and the fun moments during a paranormal investigation, so that you, the community, can be a part of our journey. Welcome to C&R Paranormal Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of C&R Paranormal Podcast. Your host, Chris
and Ryne.
And we have Chris Smith with us tonight from Get Haunted Midwest.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
You're very welcome. How's your day going?
It's going pretty good, And yeah, I mean, everybody also knows you guys are also part of Get Haunted Midwest as well, so it's cool to be able to talk to you guys on here.
So, before we get started, that way people can trickle in. How was your time at Scarefest and the Ditto House?
Oh, dude. Scarefest and the Ditto House. So one, I knew nothing about the Ditto House. I've seen Denise and Ernie Pack have their show. I catch it here and there, but I really didn't know any history about the place. And I love going to a location and learning about its history. And that place is just, there is so much of it there. And Denise and Ernie are some of the most amazing people. I saw two apparitions. I've in my life, I've seen one prior, and I saw two in one night. One was, we were trying to talk to the kids in the children's room, and I saw a little girl like jumping on the corner of the bed and then hop over the rail.
Oh, wow.
And we heard giggling right after I saw that. And then another one was similar to what Rob saw. So Rob the night before had walked out of the house and thought that Denise was right behind him, but she was showing me where some stuff was in the kitchen, and he freaked out. And then she ran out and she was like, "What?" And he was like, "I thought you were out there." Well, I was making a phone call and I'm outside, and I turned and I looked and I thought it was Rob standing there. And I said, "Hey man, I'm on the phone. I'll be in a minute." And then I went to look back and it was just gone. And I went in there and I asked Rob and them, I was like, "Was that you guys out there?" And they're like, "No, we've been sitting in here the whole time."
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was a blast. Scarefest was great. We went there because it was the final stop on the Devils on the Run tour. And if you know, Get Haunted started off the Devils on the Run tour at the Shanley. And so it was kind of coming full circle and being there at the beginning and the end of it. So it was really, really cool to see.
That's awesome. I saw that you got to meet Angry Grandma. How was that?
Oh, Angry Grandma was great. She, I'll tell you what, she had such a massive line, and she took her time with every single person. Like that's what I love to see. There was so many people excited to see her, and it wasn't just signing an autograph and being done, right? She stopped and talked to each of them and gave everybody their own moment. And so that was just so cool to have them do that. We told them they got to come to a Get Haunted event, so fingers crossed, maybe we'll see them at one.
That'd be awesome. Her cussing her.
Oh yeah, you imagine her trying to get an EVP.
I'm getting out of here.
Say something in the mic, you motherfuckers. Sorry if I'm not supposed to swear.
No, you're good. So, Chris, you want to start the...
Yeah, so our first question is, what got you interested in the paranormal field?
Okay, so, yeah, starting out in the paranormal, huge skeptic. I didn't believe in ghosts, none of that. I was big into horror, though. Raised, watching horror movies in the 80s, watching things I shouldn't have when I was too young. Loved watching those, got into haunted houses. Eventually, and I want to say it was like middle school, there was a freak accident that I should have died in. A tree fell on me.
Oh.
Crushed my whole house, went through my arm, had me pinned to my bed. I ended up breaking the stick off. I'm not trying to act like a badass. I was just really in shock. I don't remember most of it, but broke the stick off, found my dogs, got out, started getting ready for school, and finally the paramedics were like, "You gotta sit down. You're bleeding everywhere." And but after that, like, I had no fear of things. And so I was always trying to find something that was going to give me some sort of scare. I got into the extreme haunt world, which is a whole nother story. But those are haunts that really you don't know. And when I say haunts, I'm talking about like your haunted house maze type stuff. But you don't know if the people are actually really crazy or actors. And you go through some very intense things. After doing that for a while, I started to realize, what do I have left? I've seen all the fake. Now I got to go after the real. And I went on a road trip to stay at the most haunted hotels in the U.S. And my first one, and I know it's a real controversial one for some people, but I absolutely love it, was the Lizzie Borden house.
Huh?
And we bought all the equipment. Me and my friend Boston, we bought all the equipment. We didn't know how to use a single piece of it. They showed us how to use it there, and we saw enough to be like, okay, there's more to this world than just what we see.
Yeah,
And that's how I got into it.
that's awesome. That's one location I want to go to is Lizzie Borden.
Oh, it's so good. If you can get enough people so that everybody rents their own room, and then you got the whole house to yourself.
So so what has been, since you've started the paranormal, what has been your biggest personal experience that you've had?
Okay. Let me see. I got a couple that were important to me. Well, let's go to the one that scared me the most was at Wilson Castle. And it was me, Boston, my co-host for Horror Road Trip, and then Bill and Tanya from Empty Casket. And we ran out Wilson Castle, and it was getting late in the night. We decided to do a double Estes session. Now, Tanya and Boston are amazing at Estes. I can never hear anything when I'm doing Estes. It's just me sitting there quiet usually. So they were going back and forth to the point that me and Bill were no longer even asking questions. And Bill is very big into extraterrestrials. And I have a huge, I don't like the thought of aliens. Like, I believe in them. I don't like to think that they're real, though. And I especially don't like to be in the middle of nowhere in a castle with aliens around me. So he said, he was like, I'm going to change the game up here, and I'm going to ask a question that we can't go back from. Are you good with that? And I said, sure. And so he said, what is time? And apparently that's like the question you ask to trigger something that may have to do with aliens. Because all of a sudden Boston's like 4, 5, 9, 8, and then Tanya's like 7, 2, 6, 5, and they're just going back and forth, right? And then all of a sudden Boston goes, we're watching you from above. And Tanya goes, we're watching you from behind. Me and Bill stand up like, what the fuck?
Oh,
And then they both said sit down at the same time.
oh, jeez.
And that creeped me out enough where I was like, fuck aliens. I don't like them. Yeah, that was, I think, the time that got me the best with being scared.
At least with watching the movie Signs, you can pour water on them.
Exactly. You go into my house. That's what I do. I drink like a half a glass of water and I just leave it sitting around.
Do you?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
That's awesome. Ernie said Friday night at the Diddle House, he had someone try to climb in bed with him.
Oh yes. Yeah. So I'm trying to sleep. I'm on edge because like they've filled my head with like, if you look at the TV, you're going to see something behind you, or if the door is cracked, you're going to see something. And so I'm like already, I'm making sure not to look at the TV. I got the bathroom door bolted. Rob asked if we could keep the door cracked just in case things got scary because he was in the room next to me. So Rob had a big thing about saying that he was going to wake up at 7:30 in the morning because that's just what Rob does, is wake up at 7:30 in the morning. So all of a sudden I hear the shuffling going on. And I'm like, oh, it must be 7:30 in the morning because it's coming from Rob's room. I can hear all the shuffling, suitcase moving, all this. And I go and grab my phone and it's like 5:30. And all of a sudden I hear Rob snoring. And then I hear steps coming from Rob's room, go into my room, walk around the side of the bed, go up to the bathroom door. I have it bolted. At this point, I don't want to see nothing. So I just turn my back to it. And I just feel the pressure of something like getting on the bed next to me. And it was enough where I was just like, just please, it's too early for this. Let's not do this right now. It let off the pressure, walks back around the bed, and there's a staircase right behind my bed. It went down like 3 steps, and I could tell it was like even with where my head was on the bedpost. And I was like, oh no, it's looking at me. And sure enough, the whole bed just a big jostle, shake. And yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I'm up. Put on YouTube, started watching YouTube. I was like, I'm not about to go back to sleep now.
Somebody wanted to have fun with you.
Yeah, well, they had their fun.
So what has been your favorite piece of evidence you have caught?
Ooh. Favorite piece of evidence. I got one I don't want to share because that's kind of somebody else's story. That's a good question, man. I don't have a lot like with recordings and that I actually caught on camera. I guess the only one that I really have on camera, and you can't see it, but if you're there, you know it happened, was when I was at the Conjuring house. I was in the crawl space and I was trying to talk to a little child named Oliver, and I had my friend taking pictures and she was using the flash, and on the 3rd flash she hightailed it and just ditched me in the crawl space in the pitch black. And all I could assume at this point is that Oliver is behind me. And I was like, oh shit. So I'm crawling, trying to get out of there. Come to find out, she saw a black mass through the phone cover over, and our faces in the picture are all warped and jagged at that time. So it was kind of interesting that we got that. Another thing that I did catch was I was at the Salem Hotel in Salem, and we were staying in supposedly the most haunted room there. And we thought we had a dead night. We didn't think that we caught anything. Until we went back and listened to the live recording. We were looking for a comment or something and realized that at one point when I told a joke, there is audible laughter of a woman that wasn't in the room.
Oh wow!
And so that was pretty cool.
I know. Chris, what? It's so hard. You both are Chris. There we go. Chris Cash. What was your experience now that we're from when?
I think it would happen at the Granger House here in Iowa when we on the cameras we had that ribbon light come off the top of the staircase.
Oh yeah,
Very nice.
mine would have been the Edinburgh when I
The door.
with the door.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
that's a solid one.
It's funny because every time I bring it up, Chris gives me a look because I talk about it a lot, and he hates when I talk about it because I talk about it so much.
Yeah, that was pretty cool though how that happened.
Mm. That was one of my big experiences. Dogs are going. All right. Sorry, I wrote down the notes.
Dogs are howling. Party time over there.
I'll say the next one. What was the scariest moment during the making of the Evils 3 video?
Oh, fuck. The entire time. No, the scariest part for me was doing the Estes session and having Boston not be able to see, so we were on StreamYard like this, right? She had her mic on. I had my mic muted and my camera off. So she couldn't see or hear anything from me, but I could hear her only. And there was times of me picking up those dolls and she's like, put me down. What are you doing? Where am I going? And it was in sync to the stuff I was doing, to the point where I took the crucifix for some reason, which I'm not a very religious person. And all of a sudden I got really holy that night. I took the crucifix and I put it on the one doll and she threw up.
Whoa.
And it was like, it's insane. This is states away. She's in New Hampshire. I'm in Jersey, and we're getting this. And that made me leave the room, I think, for a good 3 hours. I went and sat with the lobby clerk and talked to him about his day and bothered him because I didn't want to go back into the bedroom with the dolls.
Wow.
You imagine I just can imagine being with, man.
Oh, I didn't know what to expect with these things. And what we noticed was they were very good at draining power from stuff. And so I had a full battery originally, went live. I was recording off my phone. And all of a sudden, I look over and the camera's just completely dead.
Wow.
And they had started out, the stuff that Boston was saying through Estes at the beginning was like insane. So then I plugged the camera into the wall outlet so I had continuous power and was like, all right, let's do this. And then that's the part you see in the movie where I'm doing the Estes session with them. That's the second half of it. But the first half was a lot more vulgar and meaner coming from them. Like, they talked about how they were going to burn me alive in my house.
Oh,
and
God.
things like that. And my house did catch on fire 2 weeks later.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson about touching haunted dolls.
Yeah, you'll learn it quick.
We were doing a tour at a museum. Well, they're still called Museum of Lost Souls. They just moved locations, but they had the place filled with dolls. They had the ones in the basement that they said were more negative than the ones above.
Okay.
And we did a tour, and we were down in the basement. They gave us one of their spirit boxes because we didn't have any equipment with us. And they're like, "You want to investigate for a second?" Because we were the only two there. And so we're like, "Sure." So we're down there, spirit box is going, and I didn't know at the time, and it was an accident, but I looked at one of these dolls, and it was more. They said more of the negative ones than the ones in the basement. And I looked at it. I'm like, I'm going to touch you, and I touched it. I touched the doll, and right as I touched it, right through the spirit box says, "Don't touch me."
Wow.
And then I believe right after, I had chest pains, and Chris had a headache. And then flash forward a couple months later, we investigate the building. I call to make sure that everything's still good, and the lady goes, "So the spirit in that doll was named Marie."
Okay.
And she goes, "The doll that had the spirit named Marie in that doll broke." And I'm like, "Is that the one I touched?" She goes, "No." So we go to the investigation. I asked her, "Can you point out the doll that I touched?" Sure enough, it was the doll that broke.
Wow.
And then we did an Estes session. We have it on our YouTube, but Chris was under, and from what we got from it was the spirit was still there. She was wanting to be put back in the doll. She needed help. She was sad, and she said like basement 5-10 times.
Wow.
They wanted us to help her. Well, they were putting they had dolls lined up for them to get attached to. And we're like, "We can't help you put the doll back, but we can help you into those, maybe." We never did, but
Yeah.
it was insane.
That's interesting that I wanted to go back in the same doll.
Yeah. My 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 question is they moved the locations.
Uh-huh.
I want to go back to that place, but I wonder if that same spirit is still lurking.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Be very interesting.
So, what made you?
Dog was waiting.
What made you have the idea to start Get Haunted Midwest tour?
Oh, that's an easy one. I huge fan of Just Get Haunted. Um I've done many different tours by different companies, but the one that I always continued to go back to was Get Haunted. And Sarah lives in Michigan, Rob's East Coast, so I kept in touch with them, and we always got along, and we co-produced that Boys versus Girls event. Um we stayed really good friends, and I noticed, well, you don't make tons off of these events, and to travel out to the Midwest when you live on the East Coast is really hard to even make it worth doing, right? And so I started talking to him. I was like, look, right now I want to start my own company, and I was thinking about, what if I took on part of the chain, and then we expand even more. And like I said, I had been filming for Get Haunted at this point for a few months at that, and I've known them for 2-3 years already before that. So it was just a natural progression of things, and I'm excited that it happened. I can't wait to spread what everybody got to experience out east to the Midwest, because we got some good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, ever since we met Rob and Sarah, and when we heard you were doing this, we're like, we gotta see how we can be a part of this.
Yeah. Well, now you guys are.
I'm super excited, especially with the one coming up with Rock Island.
Yes, yeah, we got Rock Island November 1st. That's going to kick off season 0. I don't know if you guys are going to ask about that in the future. If not, I will save that. But I'm super excited about Rock Island.
Are you gonna do your? I know you did an immersive thing. Are you gonna do that on these events?
Maybe in 2026 we might. We got to make a lot of repairs to it. One of the people that went through it got a little too freaked out, and if you went through it, like, you would see how much you're restrained. I really didn't think a person would be able to, but they were, and they took it out. Like, I mean, they took it out in a single blow. We hit a line, and Rob was standing there, and all of a sudden you saw a candle shoot out underneath the thing, and I just leaned in the tub, like, is everything good? And Shay's like, yeah, we're good.
was that when you said that the table?
Yeah,
Someone flipped.
Yeah, they flipped the table, and it broke the latch that the table folds up on, so the table just kept folding up automatically.
Oh, jeez.
And then there's a bunch of equipment and that's also attached, because when you walk into the room, it looks like a bare room, but within 5 minutes it completely comes to life, and there's all different things that interact with you in this room. It's like night and day when you see the end goal and then the other, like the beginning goal. It's like, where the hell did all this stuff come from? People experience spiders crawling on them.
Ooh.
There is chains that restrict you. There is a part where you get tangled in a bunch of vines. It's a wild adventure.
Yeah, we were bummed that we didn't get to do it, but I hope we get to.
Yeah, we're going to bring it back. We're just trying to figure out how to make it so it doesn't break so easy. I'll say she got superhuman strength out of nowhere. I couldn't believe it.
It reminds me. That story reminds me of a time where. So, I'm not a big fan of horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like being jump scared. I'm a chicken. But and so we were at that movie Krampus that was.
Oh yeah.
So there was a part in that movie that that made me jump, and this was at the time when Cinemark was changing from their old seats to the new seats. I had my foot up on the seat in front of me, and that part scared me so much. I think it was when that lady was underneath the car, and I kicked the seat in front of me, and all I hear is the squeaking sound of the seat. And to this day, they don't know that happened. And now that I look back at it, I don't know if it was a seat that they replaced with a new one, or it was the IMAX one.
That's funny. took it out before anybody got to even experience it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, let's see here. Sorry, I got my notes in front of me. All right. So what can people look forward to when doing the investigations of?
Yeah, so a big thing that's different from the other Get Haunted events is you may have seen the season 0. We don't fake anything. I just want to make sure that that's perfectly known. Like, we don't fake the investigation in any way. However, I come from a very immersive background, and I always feel that when you do an investigation, if you are immersed into the environment, you are going to have a lot better results than just walking in and seeing the equipment, right?
Mhm.
So we're going to have seasons throughout the year. They'll switch. We're starting with season 0 for these 3 events, and they are going to be about focusing on death, like why we're there to investigate. And with the 3 locations we got, Rock Island Roadhouse has a history of untimely death. We're going to talk about, those untimely deaths. We're going to tell those stories and get people to know what happened in what rooms. The funeral home is about confronting death. We're going to talk about, saying goodbye. And then the jail is where people sat waiting for death and, seeking redemption before they died.
Huh.
So those are going to be the 3 stories told. And then on my sessions, I like to do more unique things. So like, it's not just going to be like scrying. There's going to be a twist to it. You got a question?
Oh no, I was
Oh.
waving at the.
Oh, I was
Oops.
like you in the front with your hand raised. So my sessions that I do are going to have a twist that are going to help carry that immersive experience forward. Again, nothing's going to be faked, but it's going to be revolving around the stuff that you hear about when it first starts. Like, if you've seen the previews, I got lanterns. That's what we're going to use to lead, is light the way and by lantern light, just to keep
that'd be
people
cool.
feeling creepy and scared, because when you get like that, it builds up that energy and you actually get those things. So that's going to be what people can expect. They can expect an experience. Since we can't promise something paranormal always happening, we're going to give you an experience in the paranormal.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the road when we do it at the Roadhouse and see how it goes, because all that.
Oh, and it's De Los Muertos that day. So, yep. And so, we're really going to push heavy on that. We're going to have a little shrine set up. If anybody wants to, they can put a name on the shrine or whatever. Just in honor of that, death is about remembering. It's not about saying goodbye. And we can still communicate, And that day's supposed to be like the number 1 day that you can make contact. Like,
Oh really?
they say that is when the veil is the thinnest. And that's why it's a Day of the Dead.
Huh.
So we shall see. We're going to test it out.
So what does season 1 look like? Like, how many events is there going to be?
Oh, buddy, I don't even have the calendar list up yet. Season 1 will probably be about 15 events, I would say. I think we're going to try to do like 2 seasons, so 15 and 15. Season 1's going to start into the spiritualism movement, and then season 2 is going to go into how we evolved from those methods and equipment that they used then to the ones that we use today. So always be changing. The storyline will always go. You'll learn some cool stuff. A big thing for me is showing people how to use the equipment properly. And, also letting them know, like, you're your best piece of equipment.
Mhm.
You can have all the gadgets, and those are great because they will also make you justified in your answer. Like, it validates something that you may be feeling when you hear that, but using yourself as that piece of equipment, that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, every time we go to a location when it's just us, the whole team, and maybe a couple guests, we always say, me and Chris always say, uh, Two Spirits. That way, we're in a way when we want to protect our people, we tell them
Yeah,
to use us, come with us or whatever, and sometimes it works.
perfect. So when we're there, I'm going to tell everything to use you two. And we are good. We are all going to be happy.
Yeah. Next thing you know, both of us start getting weird things happen to us, and you're gonna say, "Well, you did say on your
Yeah,
podcast."
I have it recorded. Gave permission.
All right. So, dang it. Sorry, I'm blanking right now. Trying to think of what other one. There was something I was gonna ask, but I can't remember.
No.
um. So, dang it. I write these questions down and then I can't remember.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, the big thing for people to remember is to go to extremeticketing.com, and they can find all the events there, not only for Get Haunted Midwest, but also Get Haunted, because on the East, they have events going on the same time we do, which is going to be cool because we're going to be able to at some time test things where if there's two events going on in two different places, seeing if we can communicate with each other. They did it before and got some really cool results. We're going to try to do it again.
So, Shannon wanted us to ask, why is there a clown in your closet?
So she makes it sound weird. Okay. She makes it sound weird. So I didn't tell her that there was a clown in my closet, and she stayed for a week and cleaned my closet and found a clown. So I do YouTube videos, and I made a while ago a short talking about the clown epidemic. Do you guys remember that? It was like
Was that
right
when?
it was right around when the first It came out.
Was that when like these apparently killer clowns were roaming around and
Yeah.
harming people?
Yes. All right. So it's unexplained. Like, nobody still to this day knows, but like, it got worse and it grew. It grew across all countries. And so I did a short video talking about why we're afraid of clowns and that growing panic that happened with them. And I needed a prop, and I had never used Temu before, and I saw the poltergeist clown, and I was like, for $5, holy shit, I can have a replica of the poltergeist clown. So I bought it, and then come to find out it's only like this big. It's
Oh,
nowhere near actual size like they said it was, but it was still cool, and that's why I have a clown in my closet. Thank you, Shay. um,
What'd you think of that clown room at the Roadhouse?
oh, that was it was different for the fact that like they don't really have a haunt. Like you go into a lot of these locations, and during Halloween they turn into a haunt, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm not shocked sometimes when I go into rooms and I see like severed heads and all that, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a haunt. Well, I did the same thing when I saw the clowns, and then later on, I was like, I didn't know you guys did a haunt here, and they're like, oh, we don't. And I was like, oh, okay, then why? Like that just upped the creep value big time. Why are there scary clowns in the basement?
Yeah, that basement is pretty interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I know my big personal experience at the Roadhouse was when we first investigated there in the boys' locker room. I saw, and I scared the crap out of Chris and our now team member Jody, and we were just standing there. We're doing spirit box, and I was letting my eyes adjust more to the dark, and I was looking down, and then I happened to look up, and all of a sudden this tall, dark shadow figure with a black hat, black suit, black tie, white face just goes like that. It scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
We have it on video, but then I scared the crap out of him and her, and he's yelling, "What's going on? What? What?" And I'm like, "There's a tall, dark shadow figure I just saw." And he goes, "What? You're not Zach Bagans? What are you doing?" And I'm like, dude, I saw it, and we were walking out of that. We ended up walking because we had we had our camera there,
Uh-huh.
and we were walking towards the workshop area, and we go through those doors, and we caught somebody laughing,
Oh.
and we were the only three down there, and we never laughed, and
Wow.
um, that was one of my big experiences there.
You know, Shay, who you just saw come up on there, she's my girlfriend, also like my business partner with Get High Midwest stuff. Um, so she was the one when I said out of my favorite evidence caught. She had a very personal thing happen at Middle Point School, and of course, I don't want to tell the story. That's for her to say, but that was the first time that I saw an actual like real connection with somebody who knew somebody on the other side, and it was a lot. It was like, wow. What'd she say?
She said you could tell it.
Oh, okay. So her mother passed. Oh, it was her grandmother passed, but she raised her, right? Um, a few years ago, and we went into this one room early on in the night, and we had the ovilus, and we got the only thing that came out of it was the name Ann, and it was ANN, not ANNE, just ANN, and that's how her mom spelt it. And we were like, wow, that that's very that's cool. It's coincidence maybe, but that was all we had to go off of that, so we weren't going to say that it was actually her trying to make contact. Um, Throughout the night, though, there was a lot of like things that stood out from her childhood growing up that were like symbols to her from her, and she pointed all those out. Well, fast forward like 6 hours later, we're back in that room, and we can tell something wants to talk. Like it's being very active, but we can't tell if it's me or Shay that it wants to talk to. And we're live. And finally I was like, you gotta tell us who you are so we know who wants to talk. And all of a sudden on the ovulus it says Ann period grandmother.
Oh,
And I just went, okay. That was all that I needed. And so like I walked out of the room, let her have her moment. she started reciting like names. Some were actual relatives and some were different names, and she was getting dings on the dead bell every time it was actually a relative's name. Um, it was pretty intense, and to see that, and I don't want to say she was ever skeptical going into it. I think she always went into it with an open mind. But after that moment, like, that was why I wanted to do the events, was for those moments that you see that person finally their world just opens up because of what they experienced. And seeing that was probably one of my favorite pieces of evidence that I've ever witnessed, even though it wasn't related to me.
And she said favorite experience ever, changed it all for me for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, now that she's been going to these events with me for a little while now, and she's got the bug, so she's all about going to all the different places, and she's been helping out, getting things going. So it's been nice.
When during that VIP investigation on October 4, um, me and Chris we were during that whole thing. We kind of both just sat back and just see how the others,
Yeah.
their other reactions, and that seeing that makes me excited
Hmm.
for it, and it was cool, because they were doing the EVP session. Rob was doing his thing with the peanut butter,
Yeah.
and uh, and it was cool seeing them interact with it too. I mean,
Yeah. No, it's great. Witnessing somebody who, so that night we had the radio station people, and the one guy was a complete skeptic, and the his girlfriend, who was also on the radio, Jaden at night, and Ben, the morning show producer, were the two. Um, she is not a skeptic, and I will say she has a gift. Like, I I could just tell with her that she was able to, like, pick up dowsing rods for the first time, get stuff. She was getting great hits on the Estes method, and that, like, she has a gift. And by the end of that experience, though, she Ben, who was a skeptic, is no longer a skeptic, and we saw his world open up that night. We saw him experience it, and it was really cool.
yeah, um, we had it was it 2 years ago, Chris? Can I say this? When we were at that cemetery here, can I talk about that or no?
Sure.
When, well, with one of our friends with the.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Can I?
yeah.
So this was, I think, either in 2024. So maybe we were doing this a year, and they had asked us, um, to go with a cemetery with them, and they wanted to contact their dad. And sure enough, we did contact with their dad, and they
Oh
were
wow.
they were crying, and I mean, it was a cool experience seeing them getting closure with their dad, but that that was insane.
That's a lot to handle. I know me personally, there's some people that I've lost that, I love them to death, don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you at an event. I miss you. I'll see you one day. But as of like right now, I don't think I want to experience that. And I saw it with Shay when we were at MSP. We saw it with Hero as well, and I think they both had the same reaction, where it felt good, but at the same time, there was like an uneasiness afterwards. Like, I mean, how do you feel? Like, do you think that they went somewhere else, or are they just stuck? Like, you have so many more questions, I feel, when that opens up.
So how was that at MSP? We were uh, we were wondering how that.
So my favorite part at MSP was the gas chamber.
The guy.
Me and Shay went as guests. We were just going through the motions. And Trevor was running that session. And it was really cool because he did Estes, and one person could sit in the gas chamber and yell out the words, but they can't hear us in the booth where everybody sits and watches it happen because it's soundproof, it's closed off, right? But we can view them. And we started getting some like straight up hits to the point where they were naming names, and we were looking and we could match names of people that died in the gas chamber to actual people that died in the gas chamber that we had on our list.
Oh.
And it would be specific questions too. Like we would ask, how many females are in the room? I'm making this up. But it was questions like that. It was questions that we knew the answer to, but that it would be a weird one to ask the person under Estes, and they were hitting them spot on. And then we went to, oh God, I don't remember. It was some cell blocks. I don't remember. I think it might have been the women's area. But we were walking through, and the whole session was just walking in the dark. And there was a thing called the creeper that supposedly runs around on the cells. And the hallways are weird. Like, you can be on this far hall, and there's some bars, but then there's another walkway closer to the cells. So if you don't want to walk right next to the cells, you can have another set of bars in between you. And so we were walking on the far set of bars away from the cells. And me and Cher talking, and she keeps saying, I think something's looking at me. I think someone's looking at me. And I turned and looked, and I swear I saw like a face like pushed on the bars, like right by her. And I jumped. I pulled her. I was like, come on. And so we told Bill, I was like, dude, I don't know. I said it was like, it wasn't a full body. I swear I just saw a face and some hands. But it was right here. And so I show him right where it is. And Bill, now, if you've ever investigated with Bill from Empty Casket and Get Haunted, he doesn't jump. He has no fear, right? He walked up to the cell, and he was like, hey, if you're in here, I'd like you to show yourself to me since you showed yourself to them. And we just hear this running coming at him, and he fell back against the wall and just started yelling. And he was like, he goes, you got me good. He was like, you scared me, high five.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so MSP was really cool. That place is just so big, and I feel like there's so much more to explore. Like, I want to go back for sure.
Yeah, that's one of our locations that we want to.
Nice.
We've never investigated, but it would be a dream look. One of the dream locations.
So you get only one location to pick. Go for each of you. What is your bucket list location?
I'll let you go first, Chris.
I think it would be the Ed and Lorraine Warren's Occult Museum.
Okay.
That'd be my.
Are you big fans of the Warrens?
Yeah, more recently, since they went on tour, I've been looking into the history and all that since the movies came out too.
Nice.
I'll say
Okay.
a year and a half.
Okay. Very cool. What about you?
So that's kind of a tough one because I have so many, but I'll pick. I want to say the gosh the well one that I really want to go. I want to say the Winchester House.
Nice. Winchester House is a really cool one.
I really want to see like how that house was, built and the history of it. And I was gonna say a different one, but I was like, yeah, the Winchester.
Winchester's a cool one. Chris, are you going to sign up for the Airbnb and go and stay there?
I think it's sold out. It said.
I
Yeah.
think they might be opening some dates up soon, so keep an eye out.
Yeah.
I will tell you what, I was lucky that was my bucket list one too. And I was lucky enough right before it got bought, like a couple weeks before it got bought, going there. And the house is where it's at. Like the museum's cool. You guys have seen some of the stuff in the museum, but the house is like on a whole nother level. And like when you go in there, I mean, and if you go to the museum, you're going to see the house too.
Mhm.
It did not disappoint me in any way. That was, yeah. So I'm with you on that one for sure.
Have you ever done the for the Farrar Elementary School house?
I have not. I've so I've just heard that it's really expensive to get into.
Mhm.
But I have not. That's the one that Zach
Sam.
and Kobe, Sam and Kobe. Yeah.
Mhm. We got lucky enough to investigate there before, and that we caught our first apparition there. But um, we were there May of 24, and I can't remember if they were on the fence of buying it, like in talks and all that. But we got during our little tour, the groundskeeper said, "I'll let you on a little thing," and they were saying that Sam and Colby are
Oh, okay.
are on the verge of buying the thing, and sure enough, they did. But
Wow.
we paid for overnight. It was $420.
It's not
Um,
bad. How many
and then
people could you have?
I think it was up to 6. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had like 2 extras.
Nice.
Um, I think now it's like $800, and it's not even a full overnight,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
too bad. But
Yeah. It it's really hard to get like 10 people to go to the same place together. And that's why I know a lot of people bash on the event companies because they're like, they're giving people the more than enough. Well, it's a lot easier for the event company to pull 2 from here and 2 from here and 2 from here than you to do it on your own. So in a way, you're still seeing it for a lot cheaper than you would if you went with, your own group of people.
did you, when you were down in Kentucky, did you go to Waverly Hills?
Yes.
Waverly.
Yep. Went to Waverly Hills. That was absolutely amazing. Tina, the person that runs the place, she allowed us to go on a backstage tour of the asylum
Oh.
or the hospital. I don't know what we want to call it. I think it's a hospital more than an asylum. The hospital, we got to walk around the floors that weren't being used as the haunt. So that was really cool. We got to see some very historic places in the paranormal. And then then me and Rob got to walk through the haunted house right after that, and that was his very first haunted house that he ever went through, and he only cried once.
Did he?
So, yeah,
That's
he did. He did scream and cry, but it was only once. So I'm proud of him. We're toughening that guy up a little bit.
That's awesome.
No.
We were there. We got to investigate there. Well, we've been there about five times. We did the public there, and then back in March we took our now team member and her family.
Okay.
8 of us, and we did the private investigation.
Very cool.
And the first floor was more active for us.
Okay. Yeah, see, I didn't. I mean, we got to walk through the first floor. It was the haunt, though. So we didn't get to investigate any of it, but that was, there was a few parts in that haunt that I questioned, like, was that an actor or a prop, or did I just see a ghost?
So, I think we're gonna wrap it up here.
All right.
Thank you so much, Chris, for joining.
Thank you.
Where can people find your stuff and get Haunted Midwest?
Yeah, so on socials, get Haunted Midwest. For the events, if you are looking for the YouTube videos and lives, Horror Road Trip, we got a YouTube channel for that. If you are looking to purchase tickets, go to Extreme Ticketing / get Haunted Midwest. Or you can just find us on the homepage. There's a bunch of events there. You can just find one of our Midwest events, and it will take you to the main page. We also got horrorroadtrip.com or gethauntedmidwest.com that you can find that info there as well.
Sweet. And where you can find CNR is Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. All you need to do is search C, the and sign R paranormal. And as for that, we thank you guys so much for watching and listening. And you guys have a good one. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Hold on, I gotta find my.
You'll get it eventually.
Oh yeah,
it's that all fun.
I have it mirrored to the screen, so it was kind of. We believe that the journey doesn't just stop. It only begins. And that's with you, the community, as we take you along on our journey through the unknown. Without you, there wouldn't be us. So as for that, thank you so much for watching and listening, and stay tuned for more